Welcome to the speakers at Flagler by the Stuart Heritage Museum. At this point, I'm going to turn things back over to what you came for. Jess Robinson and Catherine Larsen from the Elliott Museum House of Refuge are here to tell us about what's going on over there. Ladies?
You know, just one thing, as you guys were talking about how to wash your own face, you know, it's important to be able to wash your own face as a museum, right? To make sure that what you're doing every day kind of leads you through the next season. But I would like to say that the Heritage Museum being free is such a wonderful opportunity to pull people in off the street as they walk by our beautiful downtown area, and to be able to have that free experience, to just even walk through and get a glimmer of the history of our area is incredibly important. And so thank you for making that happen all of these years and being such a stalwart in the downtown. And again, thank you guys for being here. I know it's really cold out there. Like, it's a little chilly. Thanks for bringing your blankets and wrapping up and coming in. You know, I was telling Gloria earlier that I've read a whole lot of diaries about the pioneers of this area, and they never complain about the heat. You never hear, oh my gosh, it was so hot today, I couldn't even live. You never hear that. You do hear about the bitter cold in the wintertime, right? And how they maintained and were able to work and continue, and the shin splints and the finger issues that they had. And you know, as I look around this room, I'm very humbled to be standing right here and giving you this update on the House of Refuge. There's many people in this room that I have absolutely learned from as mentors, and these people that work tirelessly to retain and interpret and display the information about our history here in Martin County. And so I do kind of feel a little bit like an usurper because I'm from Palm Beach County. Right? I still have that 561 area code on my phone number, and I probably won't give it up, but I do love living here. And coming across back from work today to make it here, you know, I crossed 3 bridges. And I don't know if you saw that sunset out there today, but it was incredible. This is paradise that we live in, and I know that each of you feels that same responsibility to the history and to the culture and to the things that make Martin County great. So again, I'm so grateful for the lessons, the camaraderie, and all of the stories that each one of you have given to me in the times that we have spoken one-on-one. What else is history but the collection of the stories of the people who lived it, right? And that's what we're doing now, is trying to recreate those stories of the people who came before us. And thank you for all of your work to tie those connections together. So the beauty of operating within a 70-year-old institution are the analysis of those who have come before me, right? The readings and the writings of the people that have come before me. And since I took this position, and it's just been 1 year now that I've been in the position of the collections director at the Historical Society of Martin County, I've just been reading everything, right? Anything that I can find in the archive. I have a beanbag in there now so that I can sit and be comfortable while I read the things. From progress reports written by Janet Hutchinson in the 60s and the 70s, to the diaries of the pioneer families, to the archaeological reports that have been done over the years, right? We've had many of those done throughout the years, and they're quite technical. And so I've been building databases to be able to insert that information so that I can ask questions, you know, logical questions. So I upload these documents like the history of Martin County, the archaeological report that was done in 1999, the dig reports that they did in the 70s. I've uploaded all of this into like a searchable database, and I'm really close to making that available for everybody to search online. And so that's one of the major projects that I have going on. And really what I'm here to talk to you about, I'm only introducing the main star here, okay? I'm only introducing. I'm giving you just a little bit of background and information of what she is doing on the ground, boots on the ground every single day. And so what I'm going to give you a little glimpse into is how I plan to publicize the information from our archives. We've been working dedicatedly with Georgian at the Martin Digital History Project, which is so incredibly important to everything that we do, right? We talk about resilience, we talk about preparation, we talk about preserving these parts of our past, and digitization of that it's the front line. What if a hurricane hit the building next door? What would we do? We would lose everything. And so documenting in a way that is stored offsite, in a way that we will never lose access to those things is so important. And that's where I'm at. That is my background, is data management, logistics. And so I am bringing a technical approach to the collections of the Elliott and the Historical Society of Martin County that really hasn't been looked at it in this way before. You know, the House of Refuge was really the pride of the community when it was first made into a museum in 1956, 70 years ago, as evidenced by the early records from that area. And with the tradesman group, which is really breathing new life into the building for us, Catherine has been documenting every step along the way. And she is going to show us tonight some video of speaking with the general contractor, speaking with the engineers, speaking with some of the specialty trades, and so forth. So what we're trying to do with the new interpretation, because when we go back in there, we're going to be building all new exhibits, which requires new signage, new interpretation. And so that's what I'm working on, whereas she is making sure that we're documenting the story along the way. We have every bit of it documented on video and through audio. And, you know, and what we're really trying to do is to honor each of the distinct eras of the house, because there are so many, right? And so through that, through the labor and expertise that of people who made amazing things happen there, like Ross Witham, Adele Willoughby, Mrs. William Clark Shepherd, like these people gave of themselves, gave of their lives, gave of their material resources to make the museum happen. And that's a legacy that we want to preserve. So the ladies of Seroptimus, you know, these stories all along the way, there's so many individual stories to tell, and it's kind of like I could stay here all day. We could talk for 2 days, you know, we could just keep going because there is so much to talk about the House of Refuge. So these stories are really what I want to focus on, and you'll see at the front there's a little framed drawing by Doris Thurston. She made that drawing for an ad campaign from the First National Bank, who in the 70s was raising money on our behalf. And so looking back and seeing those connections with the community, those are what we need to continue to inspire. Our corporate companies in our area, you know, should support us in that way, right? So how do we make that happen? Each of the keepers and their stories, and then later on when the keepers started bringing their families and the men who made this house their home through hardship and hard work, and making sure that all of the sailors were safe. So then there's stories of the caretakers who came later on after it really was a museum. There were still people living there full time, like the Alloways. Mr. and Mrs. Steele lived there for a while. I thought that was very interesting since Rob Steele is now the director.
Linda Geary.
Right, yeah, and the Carr family. So there were lots of people who still lived on site even through the 80s. I want to talk about Captain Louis and Pompano Chalk. I'm dying to walk through the Pelican Hotel, so if any of you know anybody over there like that can get me in to go and walk those hallways, I look by it every single day as I drive by it, and I'm like, somebody's got to know how to get me in there. These are the stories I'm looking forward to telling, and this is really what my part of it is the words, right? And so making sure that people can walk through the House of Refuge and immediately understand its importance to our community. So I'm really hoping also that you'll take one of my cards and that you'll use my email to document your own stories. You know, you think about something in the middle of the night that makes you think about the House of Refuge or the Elliott or anybody that's connected with those things, shoot me an email. Doesn't matter what time it is, like I want to hear your stories. And please share that out in the community too, like between Martin Digital History and our project and Stuart Heritage, we are preserving those stories, and it's always the loudest stories that make history, right? The people that are good with their words, that are documenting, the people that tell their stories out loud, those are the stories that get remembered. And so what I'm looking for is like my friend Kathy, who's the cashier at Publix. She's a 6th generation Martin County resident. I'm like, Kathy, I know you have pictures. I know you have stories. And so those are the stories that I'm out there looking for actively. Another thing I wanted to mention, I did place some bibliography. So the things that are the sources that I'm using to create the new interpretation for the house are available up there. If you see anything I'm missing, please let me know. And then the last thing I want to talk about is that the Spanish colonists who came here in the 14s, the 15s, the 1600s, there's a lot of new AI translation happening on their individual stories and journals, and 2 of those are coming out in the next month, November and December. And so we're going to get access to, for the first time in English, these stories of the colonists and personal diaries and stories that they recalled after having been here in Florida in that time frame, their interactions with the indigenous people that lived here. And so that's coming this month, and those are there for you to take also. And if there isn't enough papers to go around, please, again, just take my card and email me, and I'll send you everything that we talked about here today. And so I'm gonna let Catherine talk about the things that are happening on the ground at the house. It's super exciting. I went out this morning. I'm very certain that you all will be very pleased over it. And I just want to take a moment to recognize Catherine. You know, she's really serving as the liaison between the Historical Society, between the county, between the tradesman group, and she's there every day dealing with the minutia, right? And so she definitely has her hands full. And I've been so pleased to watch you grow in your role. And I'm grateful for your grit and your determination and your love for creating a warm and inviting space that space seems to follow her around, really. It's everywhere she goes. And so thank you guys for inviting us here to speak today. And please reach out with any questions that you might have.
Hi everybody, I'm Catherine Larsen and I am Keeper of the House. And it is a role I do not take lightly. And it's kind of an interesting thing. My area code is even farther away from counties. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm kind of a Smithsonian baby. I had the luxury of being around incredible museums, and I have a passion for history. And looking at everybody here today, you guys are here for a reason too, because you all have a passion for history. And it's very true about what they say, that our life's blood really are our volunteers, people that have dedicated themselves to the commitment of community to coming in and sharing, spreading the word, sharing. And that's one of the beauties of the House of Refuge, because it is all about storytelling. The house itself is not a very big house, and there is a collective of incredible history dating, and we are actually an archaeological site. We are an Eyes Indian Native American midden, and with that comes another culture that, and I certainly know that the House of Refuge didn't realize that they were going to be on top of a midden, but it's just another layer of our history, and I think that's quite beautiful. I have a video that we are very, very proud of, and it's a short video. It's about 8 minutes long, but it takes you through some of the fun tidbits that we do share in our storytelling. And it's that one. It's very short, but history is. Sometimes it can be a static share, and how can we also encourage further engagement to share that same history? And so we've been trying through technology also that Jess spoke about earlier. We've got Martin Digital. We have a lot of online activity going on to chronicle, to archive. Versus relying on the old notes or old storytelling. So this was an effort to engage the community as they come onto our campus. And so let's watch this for just a second. I don't know.
Long before lighthouses marked safe passage and ships braved these perilous waters, this coastline belonged to the Eyes Indians. For centuries, they lived in harmony with the sea, sustained by its bounty, their existence now whispered through ancient shell mounds, the foundations upon which modern history stands. Gilbert's Bar, named not for any gentle natural formation, but for the notorious pirate Don Pedro Gilbert. In the early 19th century, Gilbert terrorized these waters, infamous for plundering merchant vessels and burning ships to erase evidence of his ruthless crimes. His chillingly famous saying, "Dead cats don't mew," meant simply, "Dead men tell no tales." His reign of terror ended in 1835, as he became the last pirate executed in the United States, leaving his name etched permanently into this perilous reef. By the mid-1800s, shipwrecks along Florida's coast had become alarmingly frequent, prompting Sumner Kimball, head of the U.S. Life-Saving Service, to act. In 1876, on Hutchinson Island, atop the ancient ice mound, the House of Refuge at Gilbert's Bar was commissioned, and number 2 of only 10 constructed as sanctuaries for shipwrecked sailors. Remarkably, of those original 10, this House of Refuge on Gilbert's Bar alone remains, making it the oldest building in Martin County. Life here was challenging. The Florida landscape in 1876 was inhospitable, harsh, and isolated. Keepers and their families endured loneliness, harsh weather, and constant vigilance, dedicated solely to saving lives from the sea's grasp. With the advent of World War I, the House of Refuge was incorporated into the newly formed U.S. Coast Guard in 1915, continuing its vital role in maritime safety. During World War II, it took on additional strategic importance as a coastal lookout station. Vigilantly scanning the horizon for German U-boats threatening the American coastline, the brave personnel stationed here provided critical surveillance, protecting countless lives, patrolling the beaches, and safeguarding maritime trade routes. Over decades, the House witnessed countless tales of courage, rescuing sailors from vessels like the George's Valentine and Cosme Calzado, each wreck a testament to humanity's resilience against nature's fury. Eventually decommissioned in 1945, by mid-century, the house stood in silence, weathered and abandoned. But in the 1950s, a group of remarkable women from the Soroptimist Club of Stuart intervened. Refusing to let this historic gem decay, they rallied support, raised funds, and partnered with the county to breathe new life into its story. Soon after, the Historical Society of Martin County was formed in 1955 and has continuously preserved this vital piece of maritime heritage, ensuring the stories of bravery and survival would never fade. In 1955, the Historical Society of Martin County was born, its founding mission to preserve and share the legacy of this house. Through decades of stewardship, community events, and educational outreach, the Society has protected the house as a living museum, open to all who seek to connect with Florida's maritime roots. Yet this shoreline is not only known for human history, but also for an enduring natural legacy. From 1955 to the 1980s, marine conservationist Ross Witham, known as Martin County's Turtle Man, pioneered efforts to protect endangered sea turtles. His groundbreaking sea turtle project here at the House of Refuge significantly bolstered turtle populations, leaving an indelible mark on conservation practices worldwide. Today, the House of Refuge stands not merely as a historical site, but as a testament to the enduring bond between humanity and the sea. From the indigenous Eyes people and the treacherous pirate Gilbert, to heroic wartime efforts and pioneering conservation by Ross Witham, each chapter echoes along this shore, reminding us that history is alive in every wave that touches these sands. May the stories told here inspire and remind us of our eternal connection to the sea, and our shared responsibility to preserve its history, its wildlife, and its mysteries for generations yet to come.
My name is Michael Phillips, and I am Keeper Emeritus at the House of Refuge at Gilbert's Bar. This is my 15th year, and it's a magical place. When you come, you never leave. I came 15 years ago, and I'm still here. This is such a tapestry of history that I just never become bored with it, and I guess that's what keeps me going. Often I'm asked, what keeps me here? Well, let me tell you something. This is total history. Every object, every window, every book is nothing but history, and it's wonderful. And to learn the history of Florida for someone who's from the Northeast Corridor was really interesting, because when I got here, I didn't think there was a history. Only now I know there's thousands and thousands of years of history. And that's what keeps me here, because I'm always looking for the end of the story. I want you to come here because I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you an amazing story, starting with Indians, then to pirates, then to armies, then to Germans, then to turtles. Come here and let me share our story with you.
Now, a lot of these pictures that we're seeing in this video are from our Home of History that was put together by Sandra Thurlow. And I've told Sandra this before, that she's one of my local history heroes. And I salute you, because now we put a little twist on it and gave it a little animation, and also from our archives. And that was a neat project to be working on. And when you come to the House of Refuge, we like to start out with videos, just to give a nice orientation, because the house is small and we have grown. Our engagement now with the community has really brightened. And we've even had as many as 65, 70 people coming through the House of Refuge. So being the keeper of the house and being entrusted with engagement and how the flow goes, you know, it's our lifeblood, which are our docents, and then we split our time with our video, which is very important, and then we do the tour of the house. But so we are in the middle of a giant, well-needed restoration, and I have to thank everybody that helped put this together. This was the county, this was the Historical Society, it was the House of Refuge, and we were able to win monies with the commissioners. It was a 3-2 vote. And it's an interesting thing, and just to talk about that for a second, not everybody feels the way we do about history, which was shocking. However, there are a lot of people that are fiscally quite conservative, and they don't understand that value of what it is to put our history out into the universe. We have to, it's up to us, and we are those stewards. And hello. We've got Flagler. We're going to tribute to Flagler behind us. But it's true that money is always money, and working for nonprofits, we're always maybe a day late and a dollar short, but we try really, really hard. And that's where we are right now. The Historical Society in Martin County was awarded $1.8 million for the restoration that's going on right now. The tradesman group is a group out of Ohio. It is a female-owned company, which I like, and they are all craftsmen of their own focus. So we've got people who are very much involved with just the wood, you know, and where people are involved with the historical significance of materials that are being used at the House of Refuge, have been used at the House of Refuge. Jade pine, we can't use it anymore. And here we are. And you know, the House of Refuge has gone through many phases of restoration or maintenance. And the maintenance is where we're shifting the chapter right now, because the county owns the campus. The county owns the building, and the Historical Society, with our 70 years, we are the stewards of that history. And I think that it's you know, money is money, but it was finally necessary to do this restoration so that we have it around for further generations. It's very important. So here they are. They came in July. And it has been a very slow, meticulous process. And as Jess said, I am boots on the ground. I am dealing with the contractor and the different disciplines, as well as the county, as well as reporting back to the House of Refuge. But I'm also trying to keep the engagement alive. And how am I doing that? I'm doing it with a social media platform. And so even though we're shut, I'm still trying to reach out and touch. I put some cards out here that I hope that you guys will take a moment to take a look at something called Chronicles of a Restoration. With my hard hat, I go out there and I talk to the different disciplines and say, what are you guys doing today? Where are we in the process? And so you will discover that. In fact, we can do number 6 would be a good one. Lead paint that is peeling off the house because of where it is, the geography of it. We are subject to incredible weather, and so how do we even keep the paint on the building? So we're dialing back tens and tens and tens and tens of years, which I think is really fantastic. What is the process? Well, there is a process. And because we are on the National Register of Historic Places, it is our duty in maintaining that designation to do what the guidelines are. And so here is an example.
Welcome back to Chronicles of a Restoration. My name is Catherine Larsen, and I am keeper of the house. Today we're learning about the paint removal process. Over the decades, layer upon layer of paint has built up, hiding the original wood beneath. Several methods were tested, each with care for both the structure and its history.
Okay, so we have to strip this paint. And because of the age of the building, there are limited things we can do, but this is a chemical peel process. So we put this paste on here, and the paste is a caustic. And then we cover it with this paper. And the paper is like, think of it like parchment paper. And the paper just sticks to the paste, and it prevents the paste from drying out overnight. You leave it on here for 12 hours, 24 hours if necessary. And that keeps the caustic in the paste, doing the work that it's supposed to do. In the morning we come back, we remove the paper, and it will lift most of the paint off of it with it. And then we do a little light scraping with plastic scrapers. We're very careful not to use metal scrapers here because this wood is so soft, we don't want to damage the wood. Again, we started yesterday, and we just did a preliminary test. It seems to work, and now we're going to expand a little bit bigger areas, and we'll know more tomorrow.
As you can see, the work is meticulous, and this is not something they can do just overnight. This is a process that they are still working on, and we're into the second month of just the paint removal. It's exterior as well as interior. Also, what is going on right now, they've taken out all the windows and all the doors, and they've taken some of the architectural elements from the exterior of the property, and they sent it to their woodworking facility in Ohio. And they are in a controlled environment, and they're painstakingly peeling back a lot of hurt, replacing where they can with materials in kind, because it's very important to us. And designation is not just the physicality, but it's also historical significance. It's another layer of how a landmark can be placed on National Register of Historic Places. So, it then becomes interpretation of what is material in kind. And jade pine, it's just not there anymore. And so, a lot of the exterior of our porches, we have a lot of jade pine. And the beauty of that is that it has withstood the test of time. So this is a huge undertaking. The house, what is old, will be new again, but she'll still be old. And with that, the house has a basement. We are now calling that the exhibit hall. It used to have artifacts down there, and it was a part of our museum experience. And we have absolutely, we are delighted and thankful that one of our local artists, actually he's not a local artist, he's a national artist, an international artist, his name is Ralph Papa. Ralph Papa has had an exhibit over at the Elliott. He exhibits all over the place. He's a plein air artist. And last year we did something called Coastal Colors. And it was my effort to put more artwork of the House of Refuge out into the universe, which is also a treasure. So, it may be painted today, but tomorrow it will be something to be cherished again, like our history. Anyway, he has dedicated himself to a 50-foot by 6-foot mural that reflects the foul weather, shipwrecks, why we're here, and it's being called The Tempest, like the Shakespearean play, The Tempest, the fury, the wild, the craze of, in this instance, the sea. And so it's going to be an immersive experience with all the sounds of being in a shipwreck. And that's very exciting for us. So that's going to be The Tempest, and that's going to open up hopefully soon. March 10th is the designated day that we celebrate for our 150th anniversary, which is tremendous. That is huge. I'd like to be around for another 150 years. The experience, immersive experience, seems to be a very, very exciting journey for a lot of people who are out there looking for history and feeling it and really understanding why we're there. Upstairs, in the apex of the museum, there is a lot of beautiful space, and in doing Coastal Colors again this year, inviting plein air artists to use the house as the muse once again, we are very excited because we decided that that was going to be a place where we can show art that is revolving around maritime art. Oceanscapes, seascapes, sailing, and so that's going to be very complimentary. So there are things that are going on. We're not sitting idle while the House of Refuge is shuttered right at the moment. There's a lot going on. We've got the 150th celebration, which is tremendous, and we have our exhibit, the Tempest, and we have Coastal Colors, and we're definitely trying with social media to keep it alive for everybody. We're still here, and we're still active. But this restoration is tremendous, and we're celebrating that as well. Let's see, I'm trying to think. This is Ralph Papa. Now, Ralph Papa is a plein air artist / engineer. His career was an engineer in New York, and he has graced us with this legacy piece, and we're celebrating him as well. You just have a look here.
I just want to point out that Ralph is 86.
Oh, he's 86, and he is...
I did a solo exhibit for him this year at the Elliott, and he would not let me on the ladder to make the works he wanted to.
He's the inexhaustible Ralph Papa. He's actually, he's tremendous.
I'm so lucky for this. All right.
The mural is going to be a storm. It's not going to be like that, right?
It's combination, but this is just an opening. He's very happy with this, but the mural is, the top portion is the storms, the tempest, the thunder, the lightning, the ships. Down below you have the tranquility of the sea. So it's a collaborative story in its own right, because he starts out with the dawn, and then he goes through into daylight, but burdened by storm, and then it comes back out again to the end of the day. So you'll see, it's a beautiful piece. During all this, you'll be hearing the audio with a tour of all the sounds of the crashing waves, the wind, the thunder, the lightning, the flapping of the sails, and it's going to be a very strong walk. So as you're walking through the exhibit hall, you'll have Ralph Papa's mural to the right. Now this was completely donated, and this is just outstanding for us, and I treasure this. But
artists love to paint on a like birch wood panel that doesn't walk. This is perfect. This is even better than anything I painted. It's going to be a great project. It's good to be here on the start of it, and also particularly great to be here with the construction crew, because I like the action of other people working as well and being interspersed. The most important thing to me is having all of these panels up on the wall at the same time so I can see the scene grow. Because I'm the kind of painter that doesn't paint in one spot and then just expand. I paint the whole thing together. So a little here, a little bit there, then do the sky and what have you. It's going to be exciting.
We're honored to have this. He's charming, and upstairs with the gallery is going to be called the Overlook, because it overlooks the Indian River Lagoon, and then it overlooks the ocean. And he's going to open that up for us too with some of his work, and we're thrilled about that. So we've got a lot ahead of us, but the 150th I think is our biggest celebration, our biggest goal, and this restoration project is going to breathe new life into the house. And I hope that everybody will come and spend some time with us. And I thank you. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I would love to know how you did the movie, and are those the pictures that the guy with the artificial intelligence did the book were using it, and how'd you get the little turtles to move and all that?
Isn't that fascinating? Okay, this is all AI software. It is creative software. We're in that new generation where you can bring these things to life. A lot of the pictures that were in the video are stills, and they are in our archives. And some of them came from Martin Digital. We did a deep dive to try to complement our history as best we could, but to bring some animation, which is intriguing And it's our history, it's our time right now. So this is, it's been fun. The AI, the particular software that the fellow used, he's a videographer down in West Palm. He's very talented, and he did the videos that were shown at the House of Refuge that we've been using for years. It was time. It was time to redo them, and this was just an outstanding storytelling for us as well. So we're visual, we're audio, we are storytelling. And of course, we have our little old lady out there on the rocks with her stockings falling down, no longer. So we're thrilled. Yeah. Anybody else?
Any idea when it will be completed?
They said 6 to 8 months. Okay. So it's like a stinky onion. When you peel back one of the layers, they're finding something else. And so that in its own right is a journey. But there's a lot that goes into it. You have the architectural plans. You have the engineers. You have the county. You have permitting. You have insurance. You have the employees. Now, we're sharing some of the tradesman group craftsmen with Vizcaya right now. So their team will be down there, the team will be up here. It depends on what they're finding in that stinky onion. And sometimes it's pretty wretched. So March 10th is the date that I put on them because that's our 150th. So every day I'm like, are you still on board? Is this happening? And of course, Jess is working very hard to bring a lot of our exhibits together. We've got another one that we're working on too. It's going to be while we kept watch. What else was going on in the world relative to what was going on here? And I think that's kind of a neat layer of information. March 10th, hopefully. Hopefully March 10th, and
Really hard to plan, and she's got so many wonderful things planned with the Coast Guard, with the Navy, with the auxiliary.
the 150th is a really big deal, and we have the commander of the Coast Guard, the auxiliary here, and we're going to do a water rescue. We're going to have one of their 44s out there. We're going to have some of the rescue ships, the current day, to share with everybody. We'd like to have a ceremony opening up the house in celebration with the powers that be in our community, which there are many, and have a day of celebration where we have, live entertainment and transportation back and forth, because if you guys have been out to the House of Refuge, you realize that parking is at a premium, right? And so, but it's really beautiful because, the Elliott and the House of Refuge are sister museums. And we were able to secure a shuttle, which brings people in and brings people out. But for the 150th, I want a big bus. I want everybody to come and to be able to enjoy a celebration, because it is a celebration. 6 to 8 months is what they said, but that's a moving target. Yeah. Anybody else? Curious? Anybody curious? Well, as what Jess had said, it's it's a little intimidating being in here, because the Heritage Museum is, I came over to the Heritage Museum to find out information about the House of Refuge, because I'm a DC girl, and all of a sudden I found myself in this position. I thought, I have to do a deep dive. And so I came and I went through your collection, and I was delighted, and with bits and pieces, I've learned a lot, and I'm very happy to be here. And thank you very much. Thank you, Gary.
Catherine, thank you for being here today and sharing this with us. Jess, y'all are wonderful. You talk about preserving history. And that's important. We have to preserve what has been given to us. But at the same time, you're making history. And I hope that 50 years from now, someone else is in this chair. But 50 years from now, people are looking back at what you have been able to do with the House of Refuge at this time, so that it's there for them in their time. Because it's not a static world.
No.
We move on. And too often, we lose what has been given to us. So your efforts to preserve and protect it are greatly appreciated. And
Thank you very
I
much.
pray that 50 years from now, you can be sitting back looking at somebody else reflecting on all your efforts you put into it.
All of us.
I'm gonna be hanging
Here,
out with
here.
you guys still by then, right?
Yeah.
And we'll be doing the thing right on down the line. It's amazing to me how generations revolve, and it's the circle of life, and we're here to take up the fight that you guys have been fighting all this time.
We're all moving forward.
We're doing it. We're
moving
doing it all
forward.
together. And thank you for this collaboration and the camaraderie between the two museums and Port St. Lucie history and the other people that are in the same space. We've got to work together. We've got to raise our voices together to make sure that it all comes and stays.
And we will, and we'll continue to do that. I encourage, like I said earlier, I encourage all of you to share the word. Talk about what we're doing here. Go online and stay updated on what they're doing at the house. And of course, be there for the grand opening, whenever it gets
Yes, right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
Only, before you get up and run, one more commercial. We have an open house on December 6th at the museum from 10 to 3. We invite you to come by. We'll have music, we'll have light refreshments, we'll have tours, we'll have a tram tour from the city, and we will be wrapping it off that gorgeous basket you see over there. Full of, and I'm not going to try and list what's in there, but there's some wine, there's some chocolate, there's some gift certificates, gift cards from local businesses. Tickets are 1 for $5, 3 for $10, and 10 for $20. Don't have to be present to win. We'd like you to be present, but give us your phone number on your ticket, and we'll call you. How could I forget? Santa Claus will be there.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we'll be participating in the city holiday parade, Christmas parade on the 5th, Friday, the first Friday of December. So, and it amazes me every time we do this, and we see the turnout all along East Ocean Boulevard is fabulous. So, it's worth the wait in line. Again, thank you all for coming out tonight. I know it's a bit nippy outside, but it's warm in here with your friends and the information. Thank you.
Thank you.